Good morning. This is a hearing on temporary order of protection. In addition, an emergency motion to alter or amend a temporary order to include business premises and to stay away from that business. Is that correct? All right. Mr. Baker, do you represent the defendant in the case? All right, then we are ready for a hearing. All right. Ms. Castronova, you filed this petition. Do you wish to make an opening statement before we begin the proof? All right. Is her microphone on? All right. Go ahead.
May it please the court. Good morning, Your Honor. Alyssa Castronova on behalf of the petitioner and wife in this matter, Ms. Sabrina Ann Smithson. Your Honor, this is a case about escalating abuse, both physical, verbal, financial, and emotional. This culminated in threats, stalking, and interfering with the petitioner's livelihood. The respondent, Mr. David Dixon, has used intimidation, threats of violence, arson, and economic sabotage to maintain control over Ms. Smithson, even after she refused to return to the marital residence. You will hear testimony today that Mr. Dixon has a documented history of physical abuse dating back 20 years. Although the parties have only been married since 2017, their relationship has been ongoing for 27 years. There are 4 children born of the marriage, the eldest being 26 and the youngest is only 12. Ms. Smithson will testify that on or around May 15th, 2025, this pattern continued to escalate and she was finally strong enough to step away from this abusive relationship and attempt to cut ties with her husband. In response to Ms. Smithson no longer responding to Mr. Dixon's abusive remarks, he flooded her with messages, harassed her relentlessly, and interfered with the business that she built, the same business that she relies on to support herself. He has taken critical equipment, sabotaged her operations, and has even shown up uninvited at a hotel several states away where she was trying to find safety. Even after being served with the temporary order of protection, Mr. Dixon went to her business and stole vehicles, showing a blatant disregard for this court's authority and unwillingness to stop his controlling behavior. As a result, the petitioner was forced to file an emergency motion to expand the scope of the order to include the business, which this court granted. Additionally, despite the language in the temporary order instructing Mr. Dixon to stay away from any shared residence, when Ms. Smithson was brave enough to return with a police escort to gather some of her belongings, Mr. Dixon had indeed remained in the marital home and used the opportunity to directly violate the court's order by contacting and harassing her. Mr. Dixon is currently facing criminal charges for violating the court's order. You will hear that he has threatened to teach Ms. Smithson a lesson, threatened to ruin her business, and has threatened to burn her property. And you will hear that Ms. Smithson remains afraid of further retaliation, afraid for her safety, and afraid of what he might do next. Therefore, we are requesting that this court grant this order of protection today. Thank you.
Mr. Baker, do you wish to make an opening statement? All right. Ms. Castronova, you may call your first witness. All right. Smithson, if you'll come around here, we're going to ask you to come to the witness stand, raise your right hand, and let the clerk place you under oath.
Please state your full.
Sabrina Ann Smithson.
Ms. Smithson, we're going to ask you to speak up loudly. If you need to pull that microphone towards you, the base will slide. So there you go.
And how do you know Mr. Barry Dixon, or Mr. David Barry Dixon?
We've been married for 8 years.
And how long has your relationship been with Mr. Dixon?
27 years.
Now, do you own a business?
I do.
What is the name of that business?
Dixon Tree Service, LLC.
Is your husband a co-owner?
No.
What type of business is it?
It's a tree trimming business. We trim trees off power lines.
Does your business, is it only in the state of Tennessee?
No, it's several states we do storm work.
And what does that mean when you say you do storm work?
So if a storm comes through, like hurricanes or any kind of destruction where they need help with the lines being put back up, then we go out and help them.
Is your business your primary source of income?
Yes.
How important is that business to your financial independence?
It's very important.
Does Mr. Dixon have a separate job?
Yes, he does.
And where does he work?
Duke Energy out of Indiana.
And do the two of you have any children together?
Yes, we do.
What are their names and ages?
Connor Dixon is 25 years old. Jacob Dixon is 21 years old. Levi Dixon is 15, and Lydia Dixon is 12.
Now that we've gotten that background out of the way, I am going to turn to the specific facts that led to the filing of the order of protection. During your relationship with your husband, has he ever been physically abusive towards you?
He has.
Could you describe that for us?
When my 21-year-old was one, it was an incident where he kicked me in the back. When he was he put his hands around my neck. Just the most recent one was in Texas, probably a year ago, when he tried to kick me in a hotel room that wasn't even ours jointly.
Do you believe that he is capable of physically harming you again?
Yes.
When was the last time he laid hands on you?
It's been a couple months, 3 months ago.
Could you tell us more about that?
Yes, he was calling me a whore and a slut or whatever, and he physically was grabbing at me, just vulgarly. That's the last time.
And has he ever threatened to harm you?
Yes.
What would he say to threaten you?
He didn't specifically say what he was going to do, but he would just say, if I didn't answer the phone, he was going to come where I was at, or...
Has he ever threatened to harm you with a weapon?
A long time ago, he did.
What did he say?
There was a question about our son that he said if it wasn't ours, he was going to shoot me in the stomach with a shotgun.
Aside from direct threats of harm, does he verbally abuse you?
Every day.
And what does he say?
Everything you could think of. Slut, whore, bitch. I'm stupid. Manipulate situations where I can't complete tasks. Just, it's constant.
So in your petition, you stated that things escalated around mid-May. Could you tell us about what happened?
So we got called out on a storm to Oklahoma, and Alabama first, and then that one was canceled. So I chose to leave and go retrieve a bucket truck in Texas and take it to Louisiana, where we have a contract there. And we got a call to Oklahoma in the process of that. And he left to go on that storm, took my name off the roster, and left my 12-year-old daughter at home by herself with another child that was 15, and my son also that's 15. And I didn't know about it until the next day. So they were left alone.
What actions did he take that made you decide not to return home?
Well, he would call and just scream and yell at me saying, what you're doing is stupid, it's irrelevant. You don't need to be doing that. Yet I'm trying to save a contract that's at Clico in Louisiana. And I'm doing what I know I should do or what I think I should do. And I just got tired of him just telling me how stupid I was and ignorant, and I just quit answering his phone calls.
So after you stopped answering his phone calls, did he continue to try to contact you?
Yes,
How often?
all the time, like constantly.
And in what ways would he try to contact you?
Calling, texting, having somebody else say, hey, tell her to call me.
Did you ever ask him to stop contacting you?
Yeah,
And what was his response?
it's just the same thing.
Now, you mentioned that he would text you. How often were those text messages?
Daily, hourly, down to the minutes.
Would you recognize some of those texts if I showed them to you today?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Smithson, I've just handed you a copy of some texts that date from July 3rd of 2025 through July 10th of 2025. Do you recognize those text messages?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Who are these texts between?
Me and my husband, David Dixon.
So are the incoming texts on this thread from your husband?
Yes.
And are the outgoing texts from you?
Yes.
And is this a fair and accurate copy of the text messages that he has sent you between July 3rd and July 10th?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move this into evidence as Exhibit 1.
Go ahead.
Ms. Smithson, now I know we've got about 17 pages of text in front of us. Out of all of these pages, are you aware of how many times Mr. Dixon texted you?
About 200.
And how many times did you text him back?
3.
And are those texts highlighted?
Yes.
So turning to July 4th, that first highlighted text, what do you tell him?
Please calm down.
Now turning to July 5th, the next highlighted text is a text that he sent. Could you read that out loud for us?
Which one?
July 5th at about 1 p.m.
What was the first question you had about July the 4th?
What was her text to him?
Okay, and what was her answer?
She told him to please calm down. So looking at that July 5th at 1 p.m., what did he tell you?
He said, well, you fucked me over, so I'm going to burn your shit. Every fucking thing, fuck me and fuck you.
And you messaged him back on July 7th. What did you say?
I just said, what?
And then turning to that last highlighted text is on July 8th. What did you state to him?
Please stop contacting me.
And are the rest of these texts all from him?
Yes.
So in between July 3rd and July 10th, could you summarize the majority of these texts that he was sending you?
They're just degrading me and just being pretty mean.
And Was he calling you names?
Yes.
What was he calling you?
Bitch, slut, whore, stupid, ignorant.
And when did you file your petition for your order of protection?
On my birthday, July 9th.
Now, after you left the home in May, has Mr. Dixon stalked you?
He has,
How so?
just through the job site and through asking people to contact me that knows me like my aunt.
Has he ever shown up uninvited to where you were staying?
Yes, the incident in Oklahoma.
What happened in Oklahoma?
So I wasn't answering his phone calls. And so he left me voicemail stating if I did not answer his calls.
Counsel, can we establish a time frame for this incident?
Yes, Your Honor. When was this Oklahoma incident?
I believe it was the ended part of May. I don't exactly have an idea right now of that date, but I think it's around the end of May.
Okay. And you mentioned that he was leaving you voicemails. What was he stating on those voicemails?
He just said if I didn't answer the phone, he was going to come and be where I was at, and that I would regret it, be sorry for it, whatever. And he drove overnight and showed up there at 6 a.m, banging on somebody else's door, 'cause he didn't know exactly where I was at, but he knew what area I was in, because my sons were with, or one of my sons were with me on that storm. And I called the front desk of that camp resort, and they called the police.
Would you recognize some of those voicemails if we played them today?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to try to hold this up to the microphone, but if you
All right.
need me to replay it.
We have a means by which you can play it through the audio system if you want to. Officer Tyler there can assist you if you want.
I do in my bag. I can get it out if we need it, but I'll just try to play
Okay.
it.
Call Tammy to ask her if you can pick it up. All you gotta do is pick it up, and I'll turn around.
Pull that
You're not gonna
microphone
like it
down
when I get
closer.
there. I promise you,
That microphone
you're
will
not gonna like
bend.
it. It's gonna be all bad. It's gonna fuck me and it's gonna fuck you. And there ain't no sense in it. Just pick up the fucking phone. All you gotta do. And you don't have to call Tammy to ask her if you can pick it up. You can just do it all on your own. You don't have to follow Tammy every fucking move.
Who was that we were just hearing?
My husband.
Sabrina with Dixon Tree Service, you make sure you tell Levi and Lydia what a fucking slut you are and what a motherfucker you are, too. Don't just fucking sit and tell them about me, you cocksucker. And Tammy don't love them fucking kids, that lying slut. She's fucking paid by you, paid to fuck me over, you piece of shit.
How many voicemails did he leave you?
7, 8, I don't know.
Was this the type of tone that your husband would often use when speaking with you?
Here lately, yes. Most of the time.
And he referenced Levi and Lydia during that last voicemail. And those are your minor children?
Yes, ma'am.
How did those voicemails make you feel?
Just go away.
How many doors did he knock on before he got to your door?
He knocked on mine, I just didn't answer it.
And how did that make you feel when he tracked you down and knocked on your door when you were all the way over in Oklahoma?
Sick to my stomach. I never know what he's going to do
Why didn't you open the door?
because I never know what he's going to do. You never know. There's a reservation there for me on whether he's going to do something to people around or myself or.
Now, you mentioned the business earlier. How did your husband interfere with your ability to run that business?
It's just taking equipment off job sites, out of locked gates, because he manipulated the utility in order to let him in there to get the truck by taking him out to eat. And so he grabbed a truck.
So what types of things has he stolen from your business?
70-foot bucket trucks, shippers, excavators, dump trailers, haul trailers, side-by-sides, chainsaws, ropes, gear, keys.
And does he use any of that for the work that he does on his business?
No,
So all of that equipment is just equipment for Dixon Tree Services
that's
LLC?
correct.
What kind of damage did that interference cause of him stealing all of those things from the business?
I had to replace it at the time to keep work going, so guys didn't lose their jobs, and it didn't interfere with their lives, because mine was getting interfered. I try not to have theirs get interfered. So I replaced it by renting it, purchasing it, and I would do that in any way, shape, or form I could do to keep the work going.
And why do you believe he was stealing these things from your business?
Would appear to call for speculation on her part. Sustain the objection.
Has he ever told
Next
you?
time you object, if you'll be so courteous as to stand up, there's a microphone right there on the table. You can do that as well. So, I understand you look very comfortable, Mr. Baker, but I hate to disturb you, but if you will at least have the courtesy to do that, please.
Has he ever told you why he was stealing things from your business?
To get my attention, that's what he would say.
Ms. Smithson, I've just handed you a text message. Is this a text message that you've received?
Yes,
And who is this text message from?
my husband.
And is this a fair and accurate copy of the texts that your husband sent you?
Yes.
Now, what is that date at the top there of that first group of text messages?
June 17th.
And what, will you read those texts out loud for us?
Pick up the phone and I won't go get trailers if you don't. LOL. If you don't, I start getting them. Eventually, you will have to talk. What does it take to get you on the phone? At the end of this, we will neither one have nothing, probably bankrupt. It doesn't need to be that way.
And that next text that he sent the next day, what does he say?
I know you and Tammy built it. Let's see if y'all can hang on for the ride. LOL. There will not be a Dixon tree by next week. Mark my words. And tell Cliff he can buy the Ram for $39. LOL.
So how did these texts make you feel?
Like whether I should call him or not, just so I could stop the craziness from happening.
And when he states, pick it up or I won't go get the trailers, what trailers is he referring to?
There are equipment trailers, what hauls our machines or equipment from job site to job site.
So how would him stealing the trailers impact your business?
Well, he did take them, and I had to go buy new ones.
And when you have to buy new ones, how much does that cost?
It depends on the size of the trailer, I guess, anywhere from 13,000 to 20,000.
Ms. Smithson, I've just handed you another screenshot of a text message. Is this a text message that you've received?
Yes,
Who sent this text message?
my husband.
And what is that date there on that text?
June 22nd.
Did you make an exhibit of the June 17th text message? You were going to make them collective?
I was going to make it a collective exhibit, Your Honor. So that June 22nd text, would you read it out loud for us?
I called Armando yesterday and I gave him equipment back. I only wanted to get your attention to listen. I'm going to give you your Ram 3500 also, but I want my F350 back, even trade. I will put Dingo beside Bucket in field whenever he wants to pick up stuff. Does this work for you? Hello?
And what's that next text that he sends?
Answer the fucking phone.
Did he give you that equipment back?
No.
Your
He
Honor,
put it back in the field.
Your Honor, at this time, I would make this a collective exhibit too.
All right.
So he started stealing equipment based off these texts in mid-June, is that right?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, currently, how much of your equipment is in his possession?
At this moment, not as much. He's given most of it back, but right now he has a truck I rented that he took off the job site just 10 days ago.
I'm sorry, what was it?
A rental truck that I rented from Custom Trucks, and he still has that truck now. And the police would not allow me to report it stolen.
So before we talk more about that instance, overall, how has his interference with your business impacted your business financially?
It's been a pretty good hit to it.
Can you give
About
us a rough estimate?
around $150,000.
Has his interference impacted your workers' ability to continue their jobs?
Yes,
You mentioned, what date, just again for that timeline, what date did you file that order of protection?
July the 9th.
Are you aware of what day your husband was served?
July the 11th.
And after being served, are you aware of what he did?
He took that bucket truck that I rented from Custom Trucks.
So after being served with the order of protection, he went to your business and stole business equipment.
That's correct.
Did his actions cause your workers to contact you?
Yes,
In your opinion, was he trying to contact you indirectly?
yes.
Sustained.
Did you call the police because of his actions?
The people on the job site did. I can't call the police when I'm not there on job sites, so they did.
Would the police arrest him for violating the order of protection?
No,
Why not?
said it was a civil matter.
In response, did you file an emergency motion to extend the order of protection to specifically protect your business?
Yes,
Was that motion granted?
yes,
Why did you feel like it was necessary to amend that order of protection?
because I can't keep trying to hang on to all this equipment and everybody be working and it just literally drives up to it and takes it.
So on July 11th, when he stole that truck from the business, how did it impact your workers that day?
It stirred everybody up. Had one upset, crying, one mad. Can't, just, it disturbed the entire day.
Were they able to finish the job?
No, we still haven't.
And you said that you were renting that truck that he stole. How much a day, if you're aware, does that truck go for?
I know weekly, but it's around 5,100 a week.
5,100 a week, and you haven't had it since the 11th.
Have not had it for 10 days.
Did you return to the marital residence after you were informed that Mr. Dixon was served with the order of protection?
I did.
Were the police with you?
No,
Was your husband still at the property when you returned?
when I pulled in the driveway, yes, he was there. And I just went to the end of the driveway and he approached my car and as I called them,
You say you called them. Who did you call?
the police. And so I stayed in the car until they got there. And I recorded a conversation in the meantime.
So did Mr. Dixon attempt to contact you while you were there at the residence?
Yes,
What did he say to you?
a lot. Whole demeanor changed to, I love you, don't do this. It was just a different direction that he approached that at. And I would tell him, you don't love me, you're doing all this.
Did you exit your vehicle during this conversation?
I did not.
Did you stay in your vehicle while he was trying to contact you?
Yes, I did.
How did this interaction make you feel?
Aggravated, upset, scared, just every emotion as usual.
Was he arrested following this interaction?
He was.
To your knowledge, is he currently out on bail?
I guess, yeah.
Do you believe that your husband continues to pose a threat to your safety and your livelihood?
Yes.
Are you afraid that he will harm you or your property if this court does not order him to do otherwise?
Yes.
Are you asking this court to grant you a full order of protection to ensure your safety?
Yes.
Are you also asking that the court incorporate that specific language protecting your business?
Yes.
Do you believe that it's necessary to include your minor children on this order of protection?
Yes.
Has your husband ever directly harmed your minor children?
No.
Has he threatened to harm them?
No. Verbally.
What is,
He just said he was verbally going to tell them how horrible I am and tell them things that do not need to be, they don't need to be involved in this at all. So that's the only reason why.
so do you believe that an specific order restricting his language to not discuss this matter with the children would be sufficient to protect them
Yes.
and to not verbally degrade you to the children?
Right.
Are you asking that the court award you your attorney's fee incurred in bringing this petition?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like the court to know that is the reason behind you seeking this order of protection today?
I just want to live my life and be left alone and just be at peace of some sort.
Further questions, Your Honor?
All right, Mr. Baker will be able to cross-examine us.
Start going sideways when your husband thought that you were running around with Mr. Wells?
I'm sorry.
This start to go sideways when
This
your
has been
husband,
sideways for 27 years.
well, apparently it wasn't sideways enough to file for a divorce until now.
Yes, I've tried to leave several times, sir.
Well, what stopped you?
Him
How could he stop you from filing a divorce?
stopped me from leaving because he is very controlling.
Well, let me back up. My question was, this current situation, all this drama, started when your husband, thought you were running around with Mr. Wales, correct?
No, sir, this incident started because he left my 12-year-old daughter with a 15-year-old boy that did not live at the residence and did not contact anybody to tell them that. So I was upset with him for doing that and leaving them there by themselves.
So you got upset with him about who your daughter's with, and that triggered a divorce?
No, it triggered it triggered this whole incident, sir.
Oh, okay,
The divorce has been long coming.
okay. Well, were you having an affair with Mr. Wales?
No, sir.
Okay. Did your husband think that? Did he tell you
I
that?
have text messages saying he doesn't believe that. They're rumors. They're
Okay,
in the paper.
okay. But you did go to Florida with him, correct?
No, sir, I went to
didn't-
Texas with
With
him
me?
to pick up the bucket truck.
With Mr. Wales?
Yes, sir.
And who-
And Mike Winters as well.
Is that a Freightliner bucket truck?
That's correct.
And I guess you claim that to be yours, correct?
Claim that to be mine. It's a rental.
All right. Who rented it?
Sabrina Ann Smithson with Dixon Tree Service. LLC.
That's the name going to be on the receipt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, now, the other bucket trucks that you claim, the Freightliners, are you familiar with the 2023 Freightliner bucket truck?
I'm familiar with every single one of them, sir.
Who owns that equipment?
Sabrina, Dixon Tree Service, LLC.
Okay. See these two sales invoices for these bucket trucks?
Yes, sir.
$200,000 apiece, correct?
Almost, yes.
Who were
After
they
taxes.
sold to?
There, it says David Barry Dixon, right?
Sold and delivered to Mr. Dixon,
So the
correct?
2023 model truck was purchased through Dixon Tree Service LLC, right? Yes.
Doesn't say that on that form. Show me where it says Dixon Tree Service LLC on that sales invoice.
So does this say that it's paid for, sir?
Ma'am, you can't ask questions, you just need to answer his questions, then your lawyer can clarify
a
anything
quote.
that needs to be done.
This is a quote.
So when it says sales invoice, that's a quote.
But yes, when you have the paid invoice, it will say
Judge, I'd
different.
like to move that in as if it's Exhibit 1.
It's not Exhibit 1, this would be Exhibit 3.
Same thing.
All right. Judge, may I have a moment?
You may?
I've been with Mr. Wells along with 100 other men, a lot of places, sir. I work with a bunch of men.
Ms. Smithson, did you and Mr. Wells ever do drugs together?
No, sir.
Did you used to do drugs?
Have I done drugs? Absolutely.
When's the last time you used cocaine and methamphetamine?
Years.
Years ago?
Yeah.
No further questions, Judge.
Redirect? Ma'am, while she's coming to the podium, let me ask you a couple of questions. You have two children that are minors. Are the two older children still living at home?
The 21-year-old recently moved into our horse barn because we redone half of it as a little house.
But when you have to travel, where are these minor children?
When I'm traveling?
Yes.
Well, he either keeps them or my friend, Tammy, or my daughter. I have an older daughter.
That's the 25-year-old?
No, my oldest daughter is not ours together.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so you have arrangements made for the child. How often are you having to travel?
I go 3 to 4 storms a year.
Okay, but as far as the foreseeable future, do you have a trip that you're going to have to make?
We don't know. God decides that on storms.
So this is a tree, and you clear right away and that sort of thing?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
what the business is?
Yes, for Dixon Electric
All right.
here.
And as far as that contract for Dixon Electric, does it require you to go out of the area for Dixon Electric, or are those different jobs?
No, sir. There's contracts that are held through different utilities.
Okay. All right. When's the last time that Mr. Dixon has actually seen these minor children?
He has not seen them in a month and a half.
Okay, was that because of this order of protection, or was there some other reason?
No, there's not other.
Where is he living?
He lives in our home,
Okay. And where are you living?
an Airbnb,
Okay. And then the children
are living with me.
are living with you? All right. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So on these invoices, Exhibit 3 that was passed up to you, was this the final invoice that you received?
I'm not really sure about, we've bought them within 3 years. And we have like 10 buckets sitting in the lot. So I believe we have two 2023 bucket trucks. This particular one is still owed on. So I'm not sure about that particular, I know which truck it is, but I don't know the details of that, so.
So when you were purchasing these trucks, what were they being used for?
To clear right-of-ways.
So for your business,
Yes.
was the business paying the $200,000 outright?
Not particularly on this truck. I think I'd have to ask Tammy, because I'm not sure if this one's the one that's owed on or not. But this is the 2023 model. So when the business was started in 2021, the end of that business year, I had no established credit whatsoever. So he did inquire, and he is friends with the custom truck fella, so
But who ultimately was paying for these trucks?
the business.
No further questions.
And the business was started when?
October of 2021.
Okay. Mr. Baker, do you have any other questions?
Touched on that point. You didn't have the credit. Mr. Dixon had to get your equipment for you, correct?
At the beginning, yes, sir.
Because you didn't own the equipment. He owned the equipment.
Yeah. We stayed home. I have children, so I was a stay-at-home mom, so no, I didn't have, he worked. Yeah, that's how that works.
Right. So that's the truth of the matter. Mr. Dixon owns the equipment.
No, sir.
No further questions.
He has to pay for it in order to own it.
All right. Anything else? Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. That's an overview. You may call it. You have any other witnesses? All right, call your next witness. All right. How brief is it? All right, so in the Megan Brianne Fambro versus Mitchell Allen Fambro, we're going to enter an order just maintaining the present status quo, is that correct?
My understanding, kids are going to stay in Oakmont schools and,
All right,
yeah.
okay. Thank you for that announcement. That'll take you off the docket.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
No, I appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Ma'am, if you'll raise your right hand and let the clerk place you under oath.
sir.
Please state your full name for the record.
My name is Tammy Sue Bird,
And Ms. Bird, where are you currently employed?
for Dixon Tree Service LLC
How long have you been employed by Dixon Tree Services LLC?
since December of '24.
And what is your role or title there?
Accounting manager,
Who is your direct supervisor?
Sabrina Smithson.
Do you know Mr. Dixon?
I do.
How do you know him?
I have been friends with Sabrina since the fall of 2011. Our boys played ball together, so that's how I met her, and then I met her husband in the same way.
Have you ever personally observed Mr. Dixon interact with Ms. Smithson at work?
Yes.
Could you describe the way that he would speak to her?
It was very demanding, very controlling. If she wasn't following a path that he didn't agree with, he would redirect her and tell her that it was not appropriate or she should do something different.
Did he ever raise his voice?
Yes,
Did he ever use profanity?
he has.
Do you recall any specific instances where he verbally abused her?
I do. We were at her house, actually. We were in the hot tub together, just relaxing after we'd had a really long day. He came outside and wanted to talk business while we were relaxing. We were discussing kind of the plans on how we were trying to slow down awarding new contracts to anybody because it was overwhelming, right? And the amount of investment that it was going to take to make this happen. He piped in and said, no, that's not what we should do. You should do something completely different. We need to keep going after more contracts. And she said, I don't agree with that, and that's not the direction we need to go. He said, and he raised his voice, he said, you don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. And she immediately got quiet and got up out of the hot tub and walked out. So, and I know that maybe that is not the worst case, but there were other instances that this continued to happen on. When the first Oklahoma storm, because there was two of them, one in May, one right at the end of May, and he was trying to reach her while she was traveling, and he was very upset, and he called me and said, you need to make her answer the phone. I said, I can't make her do anything. She thinks and does her own thing. And he said, well, you tell her if she doesn't answer that phone that she needs an ass beating, is what he said to me on the phone. And so I was on vacation at the time with my sons. So I told him that I just could not continue to have those conversations, right? So I hung up at that point.
Was that the only time that you've heard Mr. Dixon threaten to physically abuse Ms. Smithson?
No, he came the day before I went to North Carolina. He came to my house. He was very upset that day. It was June the 3rd. He was kind of pacing back and forth in there, and he was very frustrated because he had not been able to get her to answer the phone. I did not know her reasons for not answering the phone because she was not telling me at that point either. All I knew is that she said, I'm just not talking to him right now. I did not have all the details at that moment. And again, he was like, he's like, you don't know what it's like. You need to convince her that we need to have a divorce. And I want all the rental houses and she can keep her business and I will stay out of it, but we don't get along anymore. I'm tired of this. You don't understand. She's a slut. I didn't even know if one of those kids were mine. And he was like, she just runs around. And he's like, honestly, he's like, she just needs a good ass whooping. And I was like, my husband was on the other side of the door. And I also have a camera in the office as well. So they were hearing what was happening in the house as he was in my office in the garage.
Would you ever, I'll strike that. Based on your observations, seeing Mr. Dixon interact with Ms. Smithson, when he was verbally abusive, how did she appear to you?
A little broken.
Did she ever seem afraid?
She did. I was probably more afraid for her than she was. But that's just my concern for her.
Now, you work for the business. Are you aware as to whether Mr. Dixon has ownership of this business?
I'm not aware.
Does he have any formal titles with the business?
He does not.
So he's not like the CEO, he's not the president, nothing like that?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Dane, to lead the witness.
Can you,
I can elaborate if that's okay.
sure.
So I've participated and supported her on multiple occasions prior to becoming an employee of this business. A year and a half ago, I came up and spent some time with them and said, hey, I understand that this is her business, but if everybody's going to participate, people should have roles and responsibilities. And it was very clear at that time to me that he wanted no role or responsibility in that because there was potentially a conflict of interest with his current employer. So that was my understanding from that point, that he would not have a title, and that he would only support her and help guide her if she had questions or needs. But there was never an official title or anything that was wanted more than that. And then he has expressed to me on several occasions that the reason that myself and a couple of other people were hired was to allow him to move on and not have to support as needed in any way.
Have you witnessed Mr. Dixon interfere with the business?
Yes.
How would he interfere?
The biggest concern has been most recently, right, was the removal of equipment. It put our guys at a disadvantage. We had to take weeks off here and there because equipment was missing. When it was returned, there was nothing on the trucks, so the trucks are fully stocked with supplies. When they were returned, there was nothing left on the trucks. So the guys had to repurchase all of their saws, all of their supplies in order to work day to day. It was a week, sometimes 2 weeks before the equipment was returned, usually triggered by some interaction that she would give in to him, right? And she would call him, and there was a promise as long as she called him every day, he would not take any more equipment. So she started that process just to get the guys back working because they were not getting paid.
Can you break down that timeline a little bit for us if you're able?
Sure. So initially it was June, like I said, June the 3rd is when I left my house. When she went to Oklahoma, it was June the 7th. By June the 11th was when she finally told him, that she wasn't going to keep responding to him. And by June the 13th is when he showed up in Oklahoma and started taking keys. I only know because I was on the phone with a police officer, right? So I was given a call that morning on the 13th, and the police officer was saying that he was showing that David had showed up and he was showing proof of ownership of the business and was allowing him to take keys away from the employees that were there on site working. So at that point, she called me. I was on the phone with the police officer sharing with him the articles of organization, showing her as a single member LLC, and also taking copies of titles in order to show that the titles were in the name of the business.
So the titles of these vehicles that he was taking, they were not in his name?
Not all of them, no. There are a couple that were in his name. As again, Sabrina mentioned that she did not have the credit when this business started. So he utilized his credit to finance the trucks. The business paid for those payments. And then the business continued to make those payments until they were paid off, or they're still paying for them at this moment.
Once the vehicles were paid off, were the parties transferring the ownership of the vehicles to the business?
Yes, that was the agreement between the two of them.
Are you aware of how Mr. Dixon's actions have financially impacted the business?
Yes, we have been doing some analysis on some of the costs that have been incurred from not being able to work, so some lost billing as well as some of the lost wages, because we did pay some of these guys because it was not their fault that the equipment was taken. And they have families to support. So we did pay some of them, especially on the day the equipment was taken. We continued to pay them through the day. So they did not have a loss of wages.
Are you able to give us an estimate of how much you believe Mr. Dixon has financially harmed the business since June?
Yes, since for the purchase of new equipment, lost billing, and wages, it's around $220,000 right now.
Now, you mentioned that he's contacted you several times regarding Ms. Smithson. Has he ever threatened you?
Not directly. I know that he threatened me through her messages because we were together when she was receiving them.
How often has he tried to contact you in order to contact Ms. Smithson?
Since the 1st of June, none.
How has Mr. Dixon's actions affected the workplace?
Everybody is very nervous. I would say a little hesitant and scared. I can express that because I
Ma'am,
talked to them.
When there's an objection, you need to be quiet and let me rule on the objection. Now, sustain the objection as to the present question. You can rephrase your questions.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have you lost any employees as a result of Mr. Dixon's actions?
Not yet.
Well, if she knows, I mean, it may be a situation where some employee said, I'm quitting because of the actions of Mr. Dixon. So I'm going to overrule the objection and let her answer the question. If she gives an answer that's inadmissible, then you can renew your objection.
Just to re-ask that question, have any employees quit or threatened to quit because of Mr. Dixon's actions?
They have not quit, but a couple of them have been nervous, but they have not left at this moment.
Do you believe that if Mr. Dixon's actions continue, that employees will begin to quit?
Sustained.
Your Honor, if I may, she can testify to a rationally based perception of these business operations.
But you're asking her that if he continues involving in this, will that have, it does seem to me you're asking her to project the future based on what she believes, right? So would that not be subjective?
In a sense of, as she has personal knowledge of these individuals, if they have informed her that they will quit if this continues, I think that is based on her rationally based perception.
All right, I'll allow it. If you will, please, I'm going to allow you to ask the question, but it's going to have to be based upon a foundation of how she would have this information.
Have any employees informed you that if this continues, they will quit? Your Honor, I'm not using it for the truth of the matter that it asserts. I'm using it rather for the effect on the listener and how she believes this is going to financially impact the business.
Overruled, I'll allow it for that reason.
Can you ask again? I'm sorry.
Absolutely, no problem. Have any employees informed you that if this continues, they will quit?
They have, only 2 of them have expressed that concern. Can I elaborate on something or no?
We have enough on that, thank
Okay.
you. Based off of what you've personally witnessed, do you believe Ms. Smithson has a reason to be afraid of Mr. Dixon?
I do.
Repeat your question.
Based on what you have personally witnessed, do you believe Ms. Smithson has reason to be afraid of Mr. Dixon?
Overruled, I think she's making an observation about what she's observed. If this is based on her own personal observations, then she can make a statement about whether there is just cause for her to be in fear. So overrule the objection.
I do, from being with her as she has received the threats, and then as well as Mr. Dixon's comments to me personally.
No further questions for this witness.
Mr. Baker, you may cross-examine.
Yes, sir.
Who landed the majority of these contracts for the company?
I can't answer that for you because I wasn't always involved.
Mr. Dixon did land some contracts, correct?
He has helped with these contracts. I'm not denying that. I don't think anybody is.
All right, and then you said that there was equipment missing off these trucks, correct? Who paid for that equipment?
Dixon Tree Service LLC.
So the chainsaws and stuff was not bought by Mr. Dixon?
I have receipts where the company is purchasing them and credit card statements.
Okay. Well, do you know which particular chainsaws that were taken for those trucks?
Well, there's multiple chainsaws. I don't have all the serial numbers.
That's my point. You don't know which one were taken, so you don't know who owned what.
I do know when they were put on those trucks.
Do you know the serial numbers of that equipment?
They will be on the receipts.
Would be on the equipment.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay. So how do you know which piece of equipment was taken?
Because it's no longer on the truck. Each truck had a specific set of equipment. We had receipts showing which parts were put on those trucks, and we labeled it and we track it that way. When the trucks were taken and they were returned, there was no equipment, no supplies on those trucks when the trucks were returned.
Okay, so you have an asset tracking list?
I have a list of assets, yes, sir.
Well, that's not what I'm asking. Asset tracking list, where the equipment is, where it's at, when it was acquired.
Only for the last several months. Before
Several.
that, it was not being tracked.
It was not being tracked, so it was prepared in anticipation of litigation. Would that be fair?
No, it was not.
Okay. When was this equipment on this bucket truck that you claim to be missing, when was it purchased?
In April.
In April. Was that before or after you started tracking?
In April, we started the tracking of it, and we started stocking the trucks because we had supplies that had been broken or had been missing prior to that. So we started creating a list of asset tracking as we were purchasing the new assets.
Okay. Now I want to go back to the situation where you said that the police had come out and they had let Mr. Dixon take some equipment, correct?
Yes, sir, that was in Oklahoma. I was not there, I was on the phone.
Then why did you testify to all of this? You testified that you showed proof of ownership of business and he showed ownership of some equipment and they give him the keys to his equipment?
I was on the phone with the police officer, and he asked me specifically if I had proof of ownership for Dixon Tree Service LLC for Sabrina Smithson. So I sent them over a copy of the articles of organization. And then he asked me if we had any titles for the equipment that the keys were being taken from. And I shared that with him as well while I was on the phone.
But Mr. Dixon was allowed to take the equipment that was his, correct?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I hung up after that. So I don't know what he took and what he did not.
Okay. Because you kind of cast that in a bad light that, he took equipment. The truth is, you don't know what was taken.
I was not there. I just know what I was asked to provide to the police officer over the phone.
Okay. And who hired most of the employees at the tree company? Was that Mr. Dixon or Miss Smithson?
I can't answer that for you. I can tell you that Ms. Smithson hired me, and since I've been on board, I have been the acting HR manager, and I have been doing the hiring and onboarding of all the employees.
Okay. You stated there was some kind of an agreement where Mr. Dixon would buy this equipment, and then it would then, when paid off, I assume, would be titled over to the tree company. Is that correct?
Correct.
Where is that agreement?
It was never written,
Oh, it's not a written agreement.
no. But he verbally told me,
When did that occur? What day did he tell you that?
this was in November of '24. We were going through the process of getting federal woman-owned status, and we had the conversation that some of the equipment was still in his name, even though the company paid for it. And he said, we need to transfer it.
Well, it seems to me that, in effect, Mr. Dixon's doing a lot of running the company, but y'all are taking advantage of the woman-owned status to get these contracts. Is that not the truth of the matter?
No, I don't believe that.
That was not the intent of the way it was set up?
I don't believe that.
You do agree that there's some distinct advantages by setting up a business as a female-owned business,
There
correct?
are distinct advantages, yes.
And you get some very lucrative contracts with the government by setting them up that way, correct?
Yes, you can.
And if Mr. Dixon would have been on the articles, wouldn't have got that advantage, would you?
Yes, we would have, as long as she had 51% ownership.
Well, if it's 50-50, you would agree that 51 is more than 50.
I'm just telling you that what the woman on status said, as long as she had 51%, that we would have still gotten the status.
But if it was 50-50, would you have got the status?
No.
Okay. Judge, may I have a moment?
You may. Redirect. All right, let me step down. All right. Ask you to raise your right hand and be placed under oath.
Please state your full name for the record.
Christopher Luke Sager,
And could you spell that last name for us?
Sager,
Mr. Sager, where are you currently employed?
Dixon Tree Service LLC,
How long have you been working for Dixon
about 2
Tree Ser-
years.
2 years. And we do have a court reporter here, so I'm going to ask that you let me finish the whole sentence before you try to answer, just for a clear record, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, just to repeat for me, how long have you been working at Dixon Tree Services?
A little over 2 years.
And what is your role or title there?
I currently run a contract for CEMC.
Who is your direct supervisor?
Sabrina Smithson,
How long has Ms. Smithson been your direct supervisor?
since I was hired.
Has Mr. Dixon ever been your direct supervisor?
No, ma'am. He did hire me, though.
He hired you. Was Ms. Smithson involved at all in the hiring process?
No, ma'am.
How were you, or how did you know Mr. Dixon?
Through a friend.
And how long have you known Mr. Dixon?
I met him the day he hired me.
Okay. So could you explain that process to us?
I was working for another tree company. They didn't have space for me. He said, I know a guy. He called. I said, hey, this is what I know. He said, I'll give you $25 an hour to come work for my wife's business.
Over those 2 years, have you ever personally observed Mr. Dixon interact with Ms. Smithson at work?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you describe the way that he would speak to her?
Often demeaning,
Demeaning? What do you mean by that?
vulgar, just being around them in public would make you embarrassed.
Can you recall any specific instances where he verbally abused her?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the last time that you saw him verbally abuse her?
Oklahoma, probably.
So you were on site in Oklahoma?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe that instance for us?
He had taken the bucket truck keys from one of my guys. They called me, so I showed back up, and he took the keys out of my truck as well. I spoke with the cop some. He really was not like Barry I knew when I first started working here.
Why was he taking the trucks?
And mine was in his name.
Has he ever attempted to take the truck from you previously?
No, ma'am.
Did he say if he needed to take the trucks?
He just said that if I wasn't going to work for him, he was going to have the keys.
Were you ever working for him, though?
No, ma'am.
What did he want you to do on his behalf?
Quit Sabrina and go run the contract for CEMC.
So did Mr. Dixon's actions that day impact the business?
Yes.
How so?
I was currently working as general foreman on that storm call, and I was unable to make it to some calls I needed to be at.
How many calls?
Approximately 3 from Mr. Mike Rose.
Are you aware of how much that would financially harm the business?
I'm not.
Is this the first time to your knowledge that Mr. Dixon has attempted to take items from the business?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been present for any other instances where he has tried to take items from the business?
No, ma'am.
Are you aware of any other items that have gone missing from the business?
I have been made aware of items missing, but on my personal behalf, I can't speak upon it.
Has Mr. Dixon ever contacted you since, I'll strike that. Has Mr. Dixon contacted you since May of 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he say when he contacted you?
He contacted me the day after Father's Day on that Monday, asking me to come work for him and run the CEMC contract. And he told me that if I didn't come work for him and run that contract, he would need the truck I was using on the contract, the trailer, and the four-wheeler.
So he was trying to take the business away from Ms. Smithson.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Dane,
What would the impact of you going to work for him do to Ms. Smithson's business?
The CEMC contract would have automatically been flipped straight to David.
Are you aware of how much that contract brings in for the business?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
How did his actions that day make you feel?
Not real great. It made me question even working for the company anymore.
Based upon what you've personally witnessed, do you believe Ms. Smithson has a reason to be afraid of Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
Do you think Mr. Dixon, based off of what you've observed, intends to harm her business?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Baker, you wish to cross-examine?
Yes. Well, me and Mr. David Dixon went together.
So you were hired by Mr. Dixon, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he also procured this contract. Now, if he's not part of this organization, how did he procure a contract and do hiring for this company?
I'm not sure.
And he said, he hired me and he said, I will offer you $25 to come to work for my wife's company. Who would say such a thing?
The man trying to hire somebody to work for his wife's company.
Okay. Did y'all go over testimony before you testified today?
Nope.
And you're sure he said, my wife's company?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what benefit, and you said a lot of this equipment was Mr. Dixon's. What if that equipment never existed and Mr. Dixon didn't provide that equipment in the first place? Would you have had a job?
You're asking him to speculate as whether or not certain equipment existed or didn't exist.
No. They asked this question. Their question was, what would the impact of not having that equipment be on the business? Now I'm going to go and ask him, what's the impact had that business never had that equipment? Because that's the same effect.
You don't see a difference between a business that has equipment in its inventory that it uses in the execution of contracts, and that equipment being removed versus the idea that the equipment never existed at all? I see a difference, but I'll allow you to ask the question for the record.
Well, because
Overrule the objection, I'm going to let him.
all right. Now, if
Can you re-ask your question,
this
please?
company would have never had this equipment Mr. Dixon provided, would you have had a job?
I would have had a job, just not with this company, sir.
Okay. So this contract and your job wouldn't even have existed, correct?
Correct.
All that income that was deriving from that would not have came in, correct?
Correct.
All right, now, you said when you was in Oklahoma that Mr. Dixon took the equipment that was his, is that correct?
I know for a fact the truck that I was driving was in his name.
And it was a boom truck?
I was driving a 2024 F-450.
Okay. Any other equipment that was his that day? That you're aware of?
Not that I'm completely aware of.
Okay. Judge, may I have a moment?
You may.
Who landed the Oklahoma contract?
I'm not entirely sure. First